Our next topic, we're going to discuss great beginnings to great endings. Our top greatest beginnings to video games and to the greatest endings.
It's a lot of beginnings and endings.
Beginnings and endings. And
greatness.
endings to beginning. Austin, you want to begin?
Sure. I'm going to go with number 3. And it's actually going to be Ghost of Tsushima. I like that beginning. It is great.
All action war, just
Yes.
Great story.
The Mongolians taking over, and Jin
You go into battle, and then you get
and your
taken
father
out,
dies.
and you get revived after somebody. Yeah, they have to go in and save your uncle and stuff.
Or your uncle, sorry.
And you go to the
Or
bridge
the
and fight. You get thrown off, and it's like a great intro to the whole thing. Actually, it really I feel like it really gets solidified after you fall off of the bridge fighting the big con guy, and then you go into it's not the poppy field, but it's like a field of
Open
flowers.
area.
Yeah. You get on your horse, and it's like that's when that's when it all opens up.
The title opens up, and you're going through the like you said, the poppy field or all those flowers. You're going through with your horse. Opens up with a big title, and you're just like, oh.
Yeah.
This is the beginning.
Yeah, that was just the beginning.
After you went through all that war and fought a boss right off the bat. Yeah.
Right. Number
Run through it
2
all.
is going to be Mass Effect 2. You come into Mass Effect 2, and you get attacked by a ship. Everything goes to as the captain, the great captain you are, Shepard. You save your crew, and you end up dying in space. So then you get brought back.
Yep.
Like your body's taken in by Cerberus, and they have this technology, and it brings you back.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what the fuck? Like, you just spent all of Mass Effect 1, probably played it like 10 times, and you're ready for Mass Effect 2, and you die. And they're like, what a just trippy intro. It's like, well, what do I do now? And my number 1 beginning of all time is The Last of Us Part 1, because it's about the zombie apocalypse. You have the 2 characters who are trying to escape the city, Joel and his daughter Sarah, and you get to the part, it's just like it's action packed. It's very interesting. Zombie, like there's this super intense.
It's like a movie.
Moments that are just like pushing you forward. Like you
movie.
have to get out, and the zombies are scary because they're like not all moldy and stuff yet.
Clickers.
And you get to that one point where you're going down a ravine and going up a hill. Zombies are chasing you, and some guy, a military guy, shoots those zombies, and you're like, oh, thank God. Like, please help us out. Like, my brother's back there. I got to go save him. I need you to take care of my daughter. I mean, that's what he's thinking, I feel like. And then the guy's like, talks to his person in command, and they're like, kill those guys because they probably have the virus. We got to kill everybody.
Got to eradicate.
Yeah. And so Joel gets shot, and then you come to find out that Sarah gets shot, and then she dies in his arms. And that is the first time I feel like any video game just felt so real, so human. Man, no other video game has done that.
Yeah, I cried.
Yeah,
the first
it
time
is
I played.
so
I was just
sad.
like, Jesus Christ.
And the way that they build those characters up for you to get so emotionally attached to them in that short amount of time, and then that incident happens, it's powerful.
So whenever I was younger, I was super into video games, but nothing hit me as hard as this beginning of a video game. What really hit me, what really kicked it off on storytelling for me was God of War 3. I followed the God of War franchise and I loved it, but the opening of God of War 3 where Kratos is finally raiding Olympus's tower, and they're going in to kill the gods, and you fight your first god, which is Poseidon. And he is just wrecking it. It's all out war, and you can feel the anger in him. And then it goes into that first-person view for Poseidon. You see this angry man just walking up to him and just beating the crap out of him. And then it tells you to click both the joysticks down. And when you do that, Kratos grabs his head, and he has his head and tells you to click it. He just thumbs right in the eyeballs. And you're just like, oh, I'm in for a game.
Oh, shit.
I'm in for an amazing game. And I'm just blown away by that. Just the scenery that's happening. Poseidon on his horse that's full of water and has all the legs just grah, 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 just tearing up crap. That right there, I knew right off the bat that, and that's why I picked this instead of Ghost of Tsushima or any other new game, Spider-Man, Last of Us. This one just really kicked it off because I followed the story for so long, and it just intrigued me so much. it just kicked it off. And I just love it so much. And that's why God of War 3 is probably the best beginning to me in a video game.
Brett, what do you got?
Probably my first pick is going to be, so Last of Us Part 1 is definitely on that list for sure. That was awesome. The other one I think that's on my list is BioShock 1.
Oh, nice.
For me, that was because of like, that was the first game that like really, just the way that they set up this world, it was unlike a world I've ever seen before in my life. Like you start off like on the boat, like coming in like up in the top or whatever, like super.
That is a good one.
You know, like super slow. You don't really know what's going on, or you just actually crash, and you're like, you know, trying to get to this like little lighthouse thing, and you get in the lighthouse, and you see this like this messaging, like old like 1960s era like period piece like styling and stuff like that. And I thought that was really cool. And then you go down deep into the water, and then all of a sudden you're open up into the world, like the city underwater.
Yeah.
And it's just like when you first see a Big Daddy, like, and then the little sister and all that stuff, just like all that pieced together, just like blew my mind. I was like, whoa, this is what you can do with a video game. The other one actually for me is, I like what you're looking up here. Actually, Call of Duty 1 is my pick.
Okay.
Because that was the first game that I ever played that really made me feel immersed into an experience I've never felt before. And you stormed stormed on D-Day. You know, you stormed the beaches of Normandy on D-Day. And I mean, that was so real and immersive. And it's like, it's not like it's an original story or anything like that. It's just what really happened. But it was so intense and so real and so like, just like high anxiety inducing, and just like the depth of everything in that was just crazy to me. So yeah, Call of Duty, Last of Us, and BioShock. Talk about beginnings. Now let's talk about endings.
All right, so ending would probably be number 3, Splinter Cell Conviction.
How did that one?
Yeah, I'm curious too.
Co-op.
The
co-op
I remember this.
side campaign. It's when you and a friend, one's American, one's Russian, and you go in and you complete all these missions together. And at the very end, you're in a plane heading back to wherever. And both governments call both agents and they're like, hey, kill the other agent.
Yes.
So you're in this very tight quarters, a lot of twists and turns and stuff, and you have to make your way to each other and assassinate each other. Or someone's going to get assassinated. And so me and Travis were playing this, and I mean, we were having such a great time with this game, and then this happens, and I was like, oh my God. Both of us were like, dude, what the heck? And I end up killing Travis, and that was that. But super unexpected, had no idea that would happen, and it made for an interesting story. Number 2 is going to be Halo Reach.
Oh, that one breaks my heart.
Oh shit.
That one breaks my heart.
Yeah, you're stranded on Reach at the very end, and you have to attack. Or you just, there's an endless wave of Covenant coming at you, and it goes from like super easy Covenant to like the most super elite Covenant. And they just come out there, and you can live for quite a while, but eventually you just die. There's no health. Maybe you can recharge your shields. There's no cover. Like, that's it. Like, so, you're going to die.
With games like that, certain, like, for example, that you kind of have to die. A lot of games give me trust issues with that. Because I'll be, like, for example, I was playing Ragnarok, and I thought that I was supposed to die because the boss was super difficult. And I was just like, there's no way I can do this. I can beat this. And I was just like, I guess I just have to die. So I forced my way through it. And I'm like, I'm so close. And then I was able to kill the boss. And I was just like, okay, I guess I wasn't supposed to die. And you know, so many games do that. Like Kingdom Hearts did that to me once. And it was unexpected. But with Halo Reach, that one hits me hard just because that's it. That's the last survivors. And I didn't realize the storyline that I was going with. And I was just like, I'm going to keep fighting. And that's all you want to do is just keep fighting. It's just,
I mean, I played Halo 1. And I know Pillar of Autumn escapes. And I know some of the lore, the backstory of all that. So I know the Pillar of Autumn left Reach when I was there. But I was like, there's got to be some way I survive. Right? Like, they're not just going to leave me hanging. It's going to be a Deus Machina moment where I get saved. And it just didn't happen. And then there's that cutscene of like another Spartan's helmet is recording
what's
you
going
getting taken down. And it's just like, man. but like that is the story of Reach.
Yeah.
And like the game starts out with the ending, and it like shows the helmet in the ground, and then it like reverts back to like this is now in the past, and then it goes forward, and you get to play all of that, and it was great. It's a great game.
Jesus.
But my number one is God of War 2018. You get to know those characters, and at the very end, like you finally get to see that moment where Kratos has embraced himself being a true father, and Atreus has accepted him, and they've gone through so much, and they get to just have this great moment of spreading their mother and wife's ashes on the top of the highest peak in the realm of the giants, and there's great music, and the way they end it, it sets it up for everything to come.
Because he was
like,
supposed to be named Loki, and that was
Yeah.
like the big twist. But I get what you're saying. Is like,
well, you think they would end with them like throwing the ashes out, but they don't. Like you can still walk back into the portal, and there's still this dialogue, and the credits are going. I'm like,
And then
what do we do now?
Yeah, that was nice.
Like, when does this game end?
Well, then you go
think-
home and you get to like see you see Odin.
you see,
which
well,
is
you see
exact
Thor.
same-
You
or
see
Thor.
the,
Sorry,
yeah.
yeah.
You see what is predicted next. But
thought
what
was
I
cool.
what I do love about that scene is that Kratos he puts his arms up and let the wraps
So
go
beautiful.
away, and he's finally done being that. How he explained to Atreus in one story while they're floating on the water, he tells him that a horse was being trained by a rider, and the horse asked the rider, "Help me, defeat my enemies and stuff like that." He helped him, but now the horse is trapped. He's a prisoner to the rider. But now it gets to a point where Kratos is actually free from.
Kratos is the horse.
Kratos is the horse, and he's free from his rider now,
Yeah.
and that's where he released.
I'm sure you would think the same, Brett.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's great. He
super
just
good.
beat it.
No, it is good. I don't know if that goes into my top because it was oddly kind of a little underwhelming at the end. I mean, I thought it was good. It was really good, but it wasn't like as grandiose as I kind of expected it to be.
Okay.
It was a nice capstone, but it wasn't all that journey to get up there to drop the ashes off. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more, but I liked it, the last bit of twist with Loki reveal, and then also with the giant thing. I thought there was just great storytelling there. It just wasn't like, oh man, that was the best thing I've ever seen in my life. But it was very, very.
I think
very
normally
good.
I would agree with you, but
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just so much
I have 3
subtext on
this
there.
one, by the way, so
Cool.
you're thinking about it.
That I feel like I'm sure you caught on to it all that too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
man, I don't know. There's just something about
Just hits you.
it. Was a perfect ending,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely really good. Probably up
I just
there
don't
in
know
the
how
top
you would
10.
end it. I don't know how you would end it.
Yeah.
Any other way?
There might not be a better way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my third one, and only reason why it's my third because I haven't played it, was Star Wars: The Old Republic, and it's because you are the bad guy the whole fucking time.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Yeah,
Great one.
spoiler alert.
That's cool.
My friend keeps telling me to play the game, which I believe him. It's a phenomenal game, but to turn out that you were fighting the dark side the whole time, and at the end you are the big bad. It's just kind of like the Sixth Sense twist, And I thought that was very nice and subtle. But the second one is Ghost of Tsushima, and main reason because there was so much emotion and I cried like a baby, depending on what ending you picked. Boy, does it hit you very hard, because at the end you actually duel your uncle, and you can either let him live or kill him. The respectful thing to do is to kill him.
I killed him.
Yeah, I killed him, and then I let him live, and then the other 5 times I played, I just killed him. But because that's what he wants. That's honor of a samurai is to fall, but you don't want to. And if you don't, it's kind of upsetting, because he's just like, oh, they're going to hunt you down now. You should have killed me. But that's the side of the ghost and not the samurai. So you're always picked between those decisions. And the only reason why I kept that one out is because it was a decision. It wasn't part of the story. But my main one, and this one really hit me about storytelling, and that is BioShock Infinite. At the very end of that one, it was such a twist and such a good story that it just blew me away, and I had to like while I was playing. Yeah, it was a thinker. I had to sit back and really like, what did I just go through? So he gave up Elizabeth, and there's different timelines. He gave up Elizabeth because he was financially unstable. He was a drunk and all this stuff. Gave her up, and he realized that there's different timelines, and he is the main bad guy in a different timeline.
He's finding himself.
And to forgive himself, he has to let all these other Elizabeths basically baptize him and kill him. And I thought that was perfect storytelling, and it just blew me away because I wasn't even expecting that. Like all the twists and turns in that game, I wasn't expecting that, and it just blew me away.
Especially in a video game, that's one of the things about that story. It was like, this is like up to that point, I feel like we haven't had storytelling that was that layered.
Yes.
And like just so good.
Yeah. And it just like I had to really sit back and think on it. And I think that's what really hurt me so much is just like, wow, this is very, and it's a BioShock game. All of them are very well crafted.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, God dang. His own version of himself in a different timeline went back to grab a daughter from a different timeline to bring her back to take her because he missed her. And he sold her off. And it's just like, ugh. It kind of hits you pretty hard. And you're just kind of like, damn, man.
That was actually on my list, but I'm not going to talk about it since you talked about it. I'm going to keep it the 3 that I had. One of them is Portal. Portal was
a good one.
The cake's a lie.
Which one?
First one.
First one? Okay.
Yeah. Second one was good too, but I think the first one was just like, that was just such a wild, like you're about to go to your death and die, and then it's just like didn't happen, and then you have to go through the backdrops of the whole entire place, and then you fight off GLaDOS at the end. This character who you like hated, or you loved actually for a little while, and then you found out she was about to kill you, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna freaking kill her, and then you go after her and take her down. And it's very satisfying. But that was like just really interesting, like great storytelling, great dialogue writing, great twist. The other one on my list is Uncharted 4, actually. I think they just wrapped that up with a bow really nicely.
Yeah, they did.
The ending too. I mean, like there was like a boss battle in there that was like, it's whatever. But the way in which they finish it, they close out all the things with like your adventures that you're doing, and then you end with like a little epilogue of just like going off with like your family and like.
And you're playing as the kid for a little bit.
As a kid for a little bit. Mm-hmm. I just thought that was a really interesting, like something you don't see in a game ever. Of like, it's just these people that have found each other that are happy and have a child, and like here we are. Granted, Last of Us Part 2 did that too, which was also really good. Which I mean, clearly same developer. So, yeah, you could play Crash Bandicoot at the end of it. That was interesting. But I just thought that was a really nice. Like I didn't have any qualms about that ending, other than the boss battle. But I thought like the way in which they just wrapped it up, I was like, I'm content with this game. Like if this is the last Uncharted I ever get, I'm happy.
Yeah.
And then we got Lost Legacy, which is fucking great. So, it still worked out. But I really, really appreciate that quite a bit. But the biggest one, the ultimate best thing that's ever been made in the history of video games.
I swear to God, if it's a racing game, I'm going to slap you.
Need for Speed. Red Dead Redemption 1.
Oh, shit.
Yep. That was... Not only did it end with like the crazy thing where you like kill that dude whose name I've forgotten because, I forgot the name. But then you like advance forward in the future. And then there's that big, huge, like that shootout. And there's like, I just remember there was like...
And you thought you could survive it.
Yeah, you thought you could survive it. And you find out that like, no, this is the end. This is the end of the line.
Shit.
Like, I am done. And I don't know what Red Dead Redemption 2's ending was like because I haven't finished it, but like I thought that was just such a freaking incredible piece of storytelling.
No, it was great especially for the time. Like, GTA was on a high, and then we got this, and it's like, dude, this is great storytelling. The game took forever to
I'm so upset they didn't do a
very
remake.
long game. Yeah.
Yeah, like that ending where John Marston like walks out and you basically dead eye everyone and try to shoot everyone, and there's like a shit ton of fucking police there.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
And you can't do it. I thought I failed the mission. I was just like, I did something wrong, but no, they go into a cinematic of him just squirting out blood and just like done.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, now what? And then
And then later on, you play as your son for a
play as
hot
your son,
second, right?
Yeah.
He
Well, you
comes
play as your
back
son,
and-
and then you go hunt down the man that killed him.
That's right.
Ross, I think that was his name.
Yeah.
And
It's one of those
Boy.
stories. It's like, man, is it ever gonna end?
yeah, dude, I tried everything. I thought there was a way you can bring them back, and then they came out with Undead Nightmare, and you play as a zombie. Loved it.
yeah.
Yeah,
It
no,
was good.
God.
Well, cool. Greatest endings, greatest beginnings. Let us know what you think